Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the market in EVE Online. Now, I'm assuming most of you guys have seen the EVE Online keynote at FanFest. What I like the most about it is the rework that they are working on of all of the structures. I think with a fitting window, completely new structures, and hopefully the outposts becoming destructible in some way. I think that could be very, very nice and could lead to a lot of new options and a lot of new gameplay. Being able to anchor them anywhere, I mean, I almost want to plonk one down right next to an ore belt and have a real mining trading operation going or something like that. The possibilities of the planned rework for the structures, I think, are pretty damn awesome. That's really what excited me the most about the EVE keynote. But we are here for the market and we will check it out. Let's start here with plex. That is 105 for that. So plex are down a little bit, 799 million, a little bit below that for the sellers, 788 million for the buyers. Not bad. You can once again buy a plex straight off the market for less than 800 million. If we go for the chart, maybe the 1 month chart is a little bit better. You can see that plex has been bouncing around 800 million for a bit over a month now. Pretty stable at this price. I think it's a reasonable price. The real question, of course, is this going to start going down because of a plex sale, or is this the new normal, 800 million for a plex? Honestly, I start to believe that it is. 800 million is actually decently doable in EVE Online, although it is reasonably challenging as well. It's not like the 300 and the 500 million we used to have to make before, but it does look like this is the new price for a plex, 800 million. And so if we don't start to see a real decline in plexes right now before the summer, I actually don't think it's going to happen anymore. So we'll keep a close eye on it for the next few weeks and months. That's going to be pretty important, but I think it's already good news that plex has been stabilized at 800 million, especially for people that want to plex their accounts. They know what they have to do in EVE Online to play a month for free. Next up, the minerals. Stuff has been happening here quite a lot. So minerals, will put down 235 for that. Let's start here with the titanium chart. That one is doing okay, trying to hold on at around 6 ISK, not being too successful. 5.99 for the sellers, 5.97 for the buyers, so very small margin, just below 6 ISK. You can see here on this 1 month chart that we've been bouncing just below that for a bit. I'm surprised. It seems to have gone back a little bit, because we were above 6 ISK last week. I'm pretty sure of that, at least on the sellers, and it did show that, I think, on the chart, but we are just below 6 ISK. It's still decent for titanium. I would say this is a normal and an average price. So for mining your Velspar, you're still doing okay, and it seems that titanium is managing to hold on for now. Maybe supply demand here, 100, 200, 380, 380. 235, 600, 250, 200 here again. This feels balanced, honestly. There's a bigger one of 500 million here as well. So this feels like a balanced situation. So I think it's normal that we're seeing some sideways movement for titanium. High-sec minerals, are all of them following suit? No, pyrite is actually taking off, continuing a little bit on its uptrend, still managing to get to 13 ISK, so 1309 for the sellers, and surprisingly enough, the buyers are really following suit, 1308 for the buyers. So for some reason, pyrite is really taking off. It's not a big jump in the last week or so, but it's been going on for pretty much the entire month, so it's not insignificant. Supply demand here, 75 million for the buyers. The other one's 34 to 35, and here we get 37, 60, 24 and 61. So still a slight edge for the buyers despite these higher pyrite prices. So yeah, you know what to mine for. It does look like pyrite is the winner when it comes to the high-tech minerals so far. Let's check out Mexalon. That one is the exact opposite. That one is going down, coming off of 60.4 ISK. It's now heading towards 58.5 or something like that. So 58.87 for the sellers, 58.08 for the buyers. You can see a bit of a larger margin here. Let's have a look at supply demand. At least demand is winning here. 69, 37, 20 and 59. You're seeing one of 39 million here. The other one's 10 million. A couple of them break that, but it's smaller in numbers, so this could stop at any moment. But yeah, Mexalon has been going down in the last 2 weeks only, I would say, pretty more steeply compared to, well, I would say the stable period that we just come out of, that Tritanium has been enjoying for the entire time. So yeah, Mexalon not doing so hot, so you know what to avoid a little bit in your mining. Although looking at supply demand here again, I think Mexalon is going to stop declining pretty soon. Next up we've got Isogen. That one is decently stable. I mean, a little bit of a correction coming off of 136, but managing to stay at around the 128, 126 mark, something like that. Let's have a look at sellers 129.09, buyers 128.03. So going back to up just a little bit from where the chart was at the middle of last month. But overall, this looks quite okay for a stable Isogen market. 3 million, 2 million, 2 million for the sellers, 8 million, 10 million, and the other ones 1 million here for the buyers. So again, slight edge for demand for high-tech minerals overall, I would say. Mexalon the only outlier, and if you want to increase your profitability on your mining just a little bit, I would say mine for pyrite. But overall, this looks like an okay market. The scales here are not that big, it's not a major jump or anything like that, so looking quite okay. Let's have a look at Noxium then. Maybe we will go for a 6-month chart. Noxium still managing to hold on at 670 ISK. Feels decently stable. Let's see, 685 to 661 for the buyers. Supply demand here, 14 million. One big seller, but that's really the only one that jumps out. And here we've got 2 million, 3 million, 1 million, 1 million. Pretty recent. Assuming these are different people, I would still give the edge to the demand here. So I would put Noxium in the behavior of the high-tech minerals at the moment, which it didn't 6 months ago, where it went down together with the null-sec ones. So that's pretty interesting. Let's keep it at 6 months, and let's see, because you've probably already seen what happened to Megasite. I'll jump right in that. That should be really interesting, and it really is. Look at that, taking off like a bat out of hell right here. So something has changed for the null-sec minerals. I'm not sure what. I was at work, I think, when that was announced. I read a little bit about it on Reddit. So something about the null-sec anomalies is going to change. That's probably been the trigger for this, but that's pretty good. Look at that, 900 as we speak. What did I write down for Megasite? Oh, 996. So it's actually, yeah, look at that. It's just one person trying to sell a million units at 900. But 996 is right here where the sellers had settled once the dust settled down. 830 for the buyers, so they definitely had to follow suit a little bit. People were buying up all of the Megasite that was available, it would seem. But that's pretty major spike right here, coming off of, well, all-time low prices for Megasite. So that's going to be good news for people that actually decided to finally jump in, like a few weeks ago, when I kept saying, well, we're constantly breaking the 700 price mark, and I was very hesitant last week, calling it a bottom, because of for how long this has been going on. But here we do see the turnaround, and yeah, really big jump up. Was it like 37%? Yeah, 37% because of FanFest. So FanFest is very important to try and find those awesome opportunities. Let's check out Zydrine as well. Yeah, similar one. I was expecting that, of course. How high did that one go? 580, 590, something like that for the sellers, 540 for the buyers. So they really had to follow suit here as well when they were flirting with 400 before the announcement at FanFest. So big move on a few of the null-sec minerals right here. If you have the entire information or the specifics as to why this jumped up so high, feel free to post that in the comments. I will try and take a look at it myself as well, though maybe I'll do my homework for next week. We'll see. But yeah, very interesting. The high-sec minerals seem to be doing quite okay. The null-sec minerals, big jump up because of FanFest. Maybe I'll touch on Morphite as well, take a look at that. Yeah, also seems to want to go up, although its situation was not as dire as Zydrine and Megasite, because you can see it came off the bottom of 4,600 quite a while ago, managed to hold on at around 5,600, preemptive spike right here, and now we are off to the races. 6,800 for Morphite. You even have buyers coming in at 6,300 in another station, but 6,000 for the buyers, which puts them on the chart at right here at the top, and so they are going up quite substantially as well. Yeah, null-sec minerals, big jump up thanks to FanFest. Well, I would say it's not entirely bad news, except, well, I didn't make any investments in there. I was a bit too scared to do so. Next up, Take One chips. That's at 10:30. That should still be okay. I don't think we've noticed anything that's been too dramatic at FanFest so far for the Take One chips, or anything that's going to change actually. So you can see that the Caracal came off of a nice little spike, and now it's back at its 10.4 million, which I would say is just a little bit below its normal average. Supply demand here 65, 28, 32, but here also 188. So I think it's back on normal. On a normal price point for the Caracal right here, after a bit of an adventure up, because I guess one or two alliances decided, well, why not buy a few Caracal fleets right there. Next up, the Dominix. That one is on a high point at the moment. And if I look at this, is supply coming in. Yeah, you can see though the entire front page pretty much is less than 24 hours old, less than 12 hours in fact, and this entire top part right here is just a few hours old. So supply is starting to come in. They're trying to take advantage of Dominix at 211.5 million. This won't last too long. A Dominix 200, something like that, even 195 is not out of the realms of average price for a Dominix. So if you can make one, if you have a few lying around, you could try and make a bit of extra money off of a few Dominixes, but keep in mind, just like with the Caracal a few weeks ago, this won't last all that long. The Dominix is a battleship though. Usually it takes a bit more time to bring the supply to the market for them, so maybe you have a few days more than on the Caracal, but generally they can bring stuff to the market very quickly to take advantage of these high prices. Next up, the Drake. That's right where it should be at 48 million. You can see that there were some spikes, but I mean, the biggest one up is at like 50 million, so that's 2 million margin. That's not a lot. And then down is to like 43, that's 5-6 million down. That's not that huge either, and it was only one, so these are really the outliers. Other than that, the Drake, a perfect example of a stable and well supplied Take One market. 26, 14, 12, 12, 34. A couple of people trying to buy a few more Drakes here as well. So it's looking quite good so far, I would say, for the Take One market. Here is the Myrmidon, again showing how stable they are at around 51 million normal price. In fact, very stable period here since the beginning of the year, I would say, for the Myrmidon. That's all looking quite okay as well. Here's the Rapture. That one has really been the example of staying stable. We're talking an entire chart that's pretty much in between 9.5 and 11.5 million. I mean, it's only a cruiser, but that's really right there. 10.5 million is what you're paying for a Rapture, and it's been right on there for quite a bit. I think 10.9 for the sellers, 10.3 for the buyers. So in fact, the buyers and the sellers are pretty much making the limits of the chart right here. This is as stable as it gets pretty much. Here's the Talos. That one knew a couple of spikes, of course, but as you can see on the Talos, there was a bit of an overreaction on the supply side all of a sudden, because we went down to 68 and here we went down to 70. Normal price 72 to 74 for a Talos, which is right where we are at the moment. So Take One market, nothing dramatic to report, no impact from FanFest. You know exactly what you're gonna pay for Take One chips. Next up, Take Two, 1410. Let's see if we can find some trade opportunities. yeah, again on the 6-month chart here, Basilisk a bit too much in the middle of the chart, I would say, but coming off of a nice little double spike here, so the Basilisk knew some opportunities, but I would say buying closer to 175 is a better idea, selling closer to 195 to 200 is a better idea as well. Next up, the Guardian. That one is nicely going down towards its bottom of 135. That's worth it to take a look at it. 131.5 for the buyer orders, 137 for the sellers, only one big one of 14 right here, 12 here as well. I would say Guardian is pretty much primed for another spike right here, and you can see in the last 6 months that they have happened up to 165, 155, 155 right here. So Guardian, I would almost say that this is ready for another spike, and you might want to try and pick a few buy orders up if it does happen. Here is the Hound. That one took off nicely as well. I think I did notice that one breaking 18 million before. Now it's up to 20 million, so there you go, 10% up. You could have easily picked up Hounds below 18 million last week, and here is that spike. So the Tech 2 market, it does happen. The Hounds, if you can try and lose a few to sell orders, you're probably doing pretty well on that. Here is the Manticore. I'm a bit afraid here because of just how much in the middle of the entire chart we are. So I would like to see the Manticore break 20 million once again and say that, yeah, there we've got a great opportunity. But if that doesn't happen, I'm very hesitant to gamble on the Manticore at the moment, just because of how the chart looks. Here's the Nemesis coming off of its bottom as well, which I think I had noticed too last week. Unfortunately, only spikes up to 20.5 million. So big supply coming in here. Well, it's decent, it's not that big, but if you manage to buy them like below 19 million, you could do a good deal trying to sell them now. Otherwise, you might want to wait for an opportunity close to 22 million or something like that, which I do think will materialize at some point. Here's the Nighthawk. What the hell? That is not expected. Nice little spike up from the Nighthawk up to 290 million. I was waiting for a buy opportunity lower than the entire chart, but here it really took off quite a lot. So if you have Nighthawks, feel free to sell them, I would say. But it's going to be interesting to see if the Nighthawk shows some actual spiky behavior, so it really pushed back down to 265. I may start to look at command ships once again for some trade opportunities, but you can see in the last 6 months that it's been nothing, way too stable to gamble on these ships. But maybe some new life might have been blown into the command ship market, who knows. I'll keep a close eye on the Nighthawk, see what it does. And if it does some interesting movements, I might add a few more command ships, because those are big sales, of course. If you can go from 265 million up to sell orders at 292 million, that's a big chunk of money straight away for just a single ship. So not bad, but still too early for me to say that I want to go back into the command ship market. Here's the Oneros. That's a lot more spiky. That's definitely something we prefer to see if you want to do some trading. Coming off of breaking 150, but it's already going back down again, so I'd be careful here. This is a purifier that is pretty good, I think. All of them spiked up to 21 million. The last one we broke 18 million. You were probably able to buy purifiers on the buyers for like 17 million, something like that, and we knew a nice little spike up again to 20 million. So purifier doing pretty well if you're looking for an active market with trade opportunities. At the moment, of course, I think you still want to try and sell a few. Yeah, 19 million is a bit too late. It's just a little bit too late. But if you see this a chart like this, that's a lot of money being made and lost as well, of course, if you try to sell at the wrong moment. Next up, the Scimitar. Nice little double spike at the beginning of the last 6 months, but here has been pretty stable. Did break 135, but pretty timid movement back up. I'd keep one eye on it, but unless you can like buy them below 135 on the buy orders, maybe you can try and do that. But I would say if you want to invest in scimitars, try and expect like a medium term, because that one has really been staying quite a bit too stable for my taste. Anyways, there are some opportunities, I think, in the Tech 2 market. Just have to try and find them, and well, you know, be there when the market does shift, like right here on the purifier, you can be right on the money if you actually want to get some extra value out of your trades for that. Next up, the tech tree market, 1920. I'm doing pretty good on time, amazing. Confessor, of course, that's going to be quite stable for quite a bit, just because of they've been launched so recently. But Legion, yep, going down, supply demand, let's see if that's still there. 4444 buyers. Well, we're not seeing that many of them. I guess what's happening here, let's take a look at the Loki chart as well. Here, going down as well, 1 month. You can see that it is really going down here too. Oh, this is a 10-day chart with oh, that's actually pretty interesting. Look at that, 10-day chart with an expected movement. That's nice. That's very nice, but you can see that that one did decide to go down right here as well. Oversupply 48, 4, 5, 5, 13. One bigger order of 13 as well, but at 136 million, so that's quite low compared to 150 for the sellers. And I guess what's happening here, Proteus taking a dive as well. Right here you can clearly see that, is that there were no announcements so far, I think, on tech tree rebalancing. Just a bit of nerfs. I think that is coming in Scylla in the patch notes. There's something like that I did see, and so yeah, that's really taken the wind out of the tech tree cruiser market. Here's the Tengu, oh my god, going down towards their price point 6 months ago before the Confessor spike. And is the oversupply here 524, 5664? Yeah, it is there. It is there. Oversupply is just a factor in here. So unfortunately, to me, it looks like the good times for the tech tree ships, the tech tree cruisers, are over already. This V pool again, that will be very stable in the upcoming next weeks and months, close to production costs, I think. And as a result, yeah, tech tree, unfortunately, I think we're up for a very bad summer again. We'll have to see in the upcoming months if that actually materializes. And then finally, we'll put down 2130 for that. I'm going to check out some skin chips. This is personal interest, but I love the new system that they're announcing, where basically skin chips will become tied, or skins will become tied to your character, and then you'll be able to choose how your ship looks depending on the skins that you have available for it. I love that idea. I actually own quite a few skin chips myself, and I've heard, if I'm interpreting this correctly, that at least for the skins from the New Eden store, if you have either a blueprint copy or a skin chip, when they launch this feature, those skins should become available on your character. And so what I'm expecting is for the skin ships to actually go up in price quite significantly, because all of a sudden it becomes important to have them, to have them in your hangar when this launches. So let's start with some battleships. I guess they're the biggest one. If a movement is across the board, I would think that they will show up here. So let's check out a Baden Kedor edition, for instance. Well, it's not outside of the realm of the entire chart here, but I do see a bit of a spike here for the Baden Kedor edition. Let's see where the sellers are at. No sellers. I guess people have really been snagging them up as much as they can. But a Baden Kedor edition, I think I have a blueprint copy of that available somewhere, not sure. I may have to invest in that. A Baden Tashmurkon edition, no big movement here. That's a bit surprising. A couple of people are still trying to sell them at a bit of a market, but not that huge, maybe 40-50 million. So that's okay. Let's have a look at normal Abaddon price. Yeah, 200 million, so something like that. I'm surprised by that. Abaddon Tashmurkon edition, couple of them for sale. I would almost jump on that one just to own the skin. 50 million sounds like a very reasonable price. Let's take a look at Rock Nugovi edition here. Yeah, that's a little bit of a spike, so that's good to see that. And then maybe that one is just not that popular, and so it's not spiking, but I'm not seeing it across the board just yet. Interesting. What are you paying for these, and are there anyone selling? Well, 270, 284, that's quite a bit above the chart though. Look at that, that's right here. And then the Rock Nugovi edition, 233 though, so you can still pick one up at a reasonable price. No, I'm not seeing the big huge movement. Dominic Squave edition, oh my god, that's started at 10.1 billion. You're still paying 1.2 billion. for a Dominic's Quave edition. The people are willing to pay 880 million. I gotta admit, that looks amazingly cool. And I do want one, but I'm just thinking of going with the package myself to grab one of these. Yeah, that's like 800, 900 million markup just for the skin. Well, that's pretty much a billion markup actually on the Dominic's Quave edition just for that new skin. So seeing this reaction though, I do think this is an awesome move by CCP that's going to, it's purely vanity, but you can't lose it. You can use it whenever you want to, and I actually think that people will be willing to spend some money on cool skins. That's just my opinion. I actually think I definitely prefer this system. I'm a bit of a collector as well, just a little bit, you know, and so I do see myself trying to grab skins to add to my collection, making that a part of my EVE experience. Let's check out the Hyperion Aliastra edition. Nope, not really seeing the big move here. And the Inner Zone Shipping edition. Nope, they're just not being traded that often, it would seem. Megatron Quave edition, that's going to cost you quite a bit, 4 billion. People try to sell them for 10 billion, and people are willing to spend 1.7 billion for Megatron Quave edition. So yeah, the FanFest edition ships, they are definitely pretty successful, but I have to admit they look incredibly cool. Let's check out some Minmatar stuff here. Cruise Wall edition. Am I seeing a spike? Yeah, maybe a little bit, but it's really not happening across the board or in that big a spike that I would say these are outside of the availability factor all of a sudden, or that people are really trying to bank on making some money before the new system hits. So I guess the market is just that limited that it's not really happening. Let's check out some cruisers maybe. Do we have any of those? Omen Cador edition. Look at that one, spiked up quite nicely. Going from like 20 million up. Yeah, people definitely try to make some money off this cruiser skin. I gotta admit, it looks really damn cool as well. But this is an example, so I'm surprised not to see it in the battleships, but to see it in the cruisers. Look at that, Omen Tashmurkan edition, way up as well. Going from, it went for 20 million and now it's going for 17 billion. What the hell is happening here? So that's surprising. It is happening for some of them. Here is Caracal Nogovi edition, also nice little spike, and here is the Urkomi edition. That one not so much. I guess this one just isn't that popular. It's just a plain green. So I guess, or maybe there's no sellers. So maybe people will bring those to the market. Look at that, 50, 70, 84 million. Yep, they actually made moves on the cruisers here and there. Thorax Aliastra edition, not seeing the big move here. Inner Zone Shipping, yeah, look at that. Spike, pretty much a doubling in price. And then Vex or Quave edition, that's not going to be pretty. I think you're spending, well, that's 385 million. That's more reasonable than the battleships though. Although of course it is quite a lot for the cruisers, but I could see myself just spend that if I would want to own the skin when the new system is released. So that's pretty cool. Of course, another question is, will that also happen for all of the skins, or will some ships really stay limited edition, that if they're destroyed, that's it for them? Nope, not seeing anything on the Stabber. So amazingly enough, the Omen Cador edition and Tashmurkan edition, I guess someone tried to really take advantage of it, had the same idea that I had, and tried to make some real money off of that. If they succeed or not, we'll have to wait and see. Next up, frigates maybe. We'll quickly check on those two end up here. Punisher Cador edition. Yep, look at that, going for quite a bit more. And here's the Tashmurkan edition. Is that one like new enough? Yeah, that one is actually new enough that the chart is doing some weird stuff. Going for 50 million for a frigate, so yeah, you're paying quite a bit for a few of these skins. I guess they're new enough, these Amar skins, and that's why they're actually spiking. Because yeah, actually Merlin Nogovi edition, pretty big spike, and even the Urkomi edition as well, 30-40 million. So that is interesting. Tristan Quave edition, what are you paying for that? 181 million, 182 million. Okay, not bad. I guess they have like more runs or something, that because they are quite available. In Cursus Inner Zone Shipping, not seeing a big spike here. And then in Cursus Aliastra Edition, a little bit, but not that much. So pretty interesting in my opinion. Rifter Cruise Wall, yeah, that one spiked up. And the Fantar Edition, it's trying to, I think. So yeah, I think that this is interesting. I love the new system myself. I'm going to try and grab as many of these ships, I think, just because I do think that that's pretty cool. Overall though, we're only seeing a big move on a few of them, and of course the Quave ships, they are outrageous at the moment, because, well, they're that new. But I do think that the system there has a lot of potential for monetization within EVE Online, and I feel this need, this want as well, to try and get as many of those skins. I look forward to, let's say, that the entire corporation 3-4 guys fly in the same ship, and then we all switch to a similar skin that's a little bit different than anyone else is flying around there for live events, stuff like that. I definitely want a lot of this, so it's looking quite promising, and at the moment you're paying a bit more for some of these skins, so looking pretty good. Anyways, that's it for this EVE Talk, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.